1, 2, 3. Five. Yeah, that's how you count to 4. It's time for a video. Hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Alex and today we're talking about Jhin. It's a guide video. I moved into a new place and I'm doing good. Everything's great. Awesome, amazing, fantastic, stupendous. Other word. Hold on, I need to look up a thesaurus. Dynamite. I like that one. Marvelous. I got another one. Okay, done. We're done. Yeah, everything's going good. And hopefully the sound in this place is going to be fine. Jhin is the guy we're talking about today. He's a fantastic champion. He's one of my favorite champions. He's the first champion I got to Mastery 7, and the first champion that I got, or not, oh, sorry, not the first. The first champion I got a Pentagon was Jinx. He's the second champion I got a Pentagon. He's one of the most unique champions in the game. I think actually, like, Azir's pretty unique. They're kind of on a similar, like, similar par as uniqueness, if you want to make that like a qualitative thing. He requires a bit of a different mindset to play than other ADCs, because most ADCs are very much a shooty, you do your death, die. So we're gonna talk about him today. As usual, I'm gonna talk about his abilities first. So get out of the way. I'll put the timestamp somewhere like in this place. Whoop, 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 whoop. His passive is called Whisper. It is probably the most complicated part about Jhin. If you look under his health, he'll have 4 different bars. One being, I think 3 of them being like gray colored or another color, and the last one being like purple. Those are the amount of shots that he has before he has to reload. Jhin doesn't gain any attack speed at all. None whatsoever. He doesn't gain more attack. He doesn't attack faster through items. He attacks faster through levels. So the bonus damage he gets from items instead of from like getting attack speed, he gets as AD. So he gets more AD from building 2 things: crit chance and attack speed. More attack speed means more movement speed and more damage. More crit chance just means flat out more damage. So think of it like that. Your 4th shot is the most important thing to know about, especially in the early game, is that it gives you a few things. It's always 100% crit chance on the 4th shot. That's important. The second thing is, whenever you crit, you get movement speed. Obviously, we already talked about that, but the other thing about the 4th shot is it deals damage and then extra damage based on a percentage of the missing health of the target. So the lower health they are, the more damage the 4th shot will do. So it's basically an execute on a stick. Your 4th shot will always execute someone at low health. Pretty much, or does a ton of damage. His Q is Dancing Grenade. It's basically a targeted ability. You target an enemy, he throws a little grenade out, and it does damage to up to 4 targets. 3 targets after the first, basically. And for every enemy that he kills with the grenade, or every enemy that's killed with the grenade, it increases the damage by a little bit. So the more enemies are killed before the last one is hit, the more damage you'll do to the last thing that it hits. You can, I think this is a thing still. There was like an article like about a year, like last year, talking about how they ruined this about Jhin. I don't know if you can still do this, but a little bit of a trick is that you can, after the grenade hits and bounces off the first target, you can actually like shoot that target and then kill it, and it'll actually still increase the damage of the grenade. Tell me if I'm wrong about that in the comments below, whether I'm an idiot and don't remember if those things actually still exist. Now we'll talk about his W and his E in tandem, because they kind of work together and they apply. Hey, it's me from the future. I had to interject while I was editing this video because I explained Jhin's W and E like totally over. I overcomplicated it way too much. Basically, his W shoots a thin shot from far away. It's a long-range attack. It immobilizes marked champions. It also activates his passive, giving him movement speed. Targets are marked when an enemy champion either walks over your E, which is a trap that you place down on the ground. The trap will sit there invisible just waiting for someone to walk over it, and when someone walks over it, it starts to go off. It takes around 2 seconds to explode. But while they're inside the trap, they're marked, revealing them as well, and slowing them down while they're inside the zone of the trap. And if it does end up exploding on them, it does some damage. Targets are also marked by any damage that you deal. So your Q, even your W can mark people, but obviously that won't help you. And your auto attacks and your ultimate also mark. So the other thing that also marks enemy champions is your allies immobilizing or using a sort of like stun, immobilization on an enemy champion will also mark them so that you can use your W and immobilize them and stuff like that. So yeah, that I kind of just went crazy and tried to explain it in the weirdest way possible. I just had to go and fix it myself now. And so yeah, back to regular past me talking about Jhin. Now, the piece de resistance, the creme de la creme, the creme brulee is the best part about Jhin is his ultimate curtain call. It's, you know, Caitlyn has her little sniper rifle thing that she does, and it's cool and all. This is legit like the sniper. Ability. Basically what happens is Jhin sits down and channels for like 10 seconds, and you get this really large conal area to shoot in, and every time you hit your ultimate afterwards, Jhin will take a shot. 4 shots are allowed. Each shot deals extra damage based on a percentage of the target's missing health. And as usual, each shot also slows by a little bit for like half a second, allowing you to kind of line up the next one a bit more easily. And it also renders them caught out, which means they're revealed for 2 seconds. The 4th shot, like always, is a 100% crit chance, and does actually extra critical damage. So it's like 100% your AD plus 25%, then whatever other crit chance that you have available does extra damage. So it's another execute. So yeah, curtain call, one of the most impressive abilities. Again, if you have like some of Jhin, I mean, it's so cool. It's probably one of the coolest abilities in the game, in my opinion, because you get the music and the voix and the ja and the poo poo, you know, all that jazz. Now, what do we build on Jhin? It's pretty straightforward. Usually 100% crit is what you're going for, because you want every shot that you make to give you a bunch of movement speed, so that you can just be zooming around all over the place, being on like just super fast. He's like a very mobile champion, but mainly through movement speed, not through anything else. He has no movement abilities like a lot of other champions. Like even Caitlyn has more movement abilities than Jhin because of her net and stuff like that. But you want all your items to be crit. I'll talk about what I like personally do. I like building 100% crit. It's just super fun, and I feel like it's pretty much the way you need to go. You can forego maybe 100% crit for 75 if you need more defensive items, but usually those defensive items turn out to be your crit items, like Phantom Dancer, and then you build like an arcane Guardian Angel, something like that. The usual core items for me are Infinity Edge, Storm Razor, Rapid Fire Cannon. Like those 3 are like the core of the build, because it gives you attack damage, attack speed, and crit chance, and gives you a slow on a stick. And then Rapid Fire Cannon, which gives you a lot of range poking abilities. It gives you movement speed, it gives you attack speed, it gives you crit chance, so it gives you a lot of stuff that you need. Those 3 items are pretty much the core for Jhin, for me at least. I like to build those things as fast as possible. Building a lot of crit on Jhin will give you a ton of mobility, giving you a large amount of kiting ability, so you can run away from champions, get in and out of fights, putting yourself in position, spacing yourself from the fight and things like that. Other things, if you want to build Phantom Dancer, obviously for more defensive build, Essence Reaver if you really just want a chunk of AD with some extra mana and stuff like that. Also, the crit chance helps a lot with getting yourself to 100% crit. And obviously, Guardian Angel for, well, when there's a Zed on the enemy team. Runes on Jhin are like, it's a sore spot for me specifically as a Jhin player, because there's not a lot of runes that work for him. Like Ezreal, there's just like there's one rune that really works, and unlike Ezreal, our rune is still in the game. He doesn't have really good synergy with a lot of the Keystones. The couple of the ones that are like honorable mentions are like Dark Harvest and Hail of Blades. Dark Harvest because, well, you have execute damage on your 4th shot, so if you get them low enough and you want to like execute, like do a bunch of damage to them or burst them down, Dark Harvest is kind of helpful for that. Hail of Blades is cool because it gives you a bunch of attack speed, which will translate into movement speed on your 4th shots, but that kind of fell out of line because, well, it's just less useful later in the game. Also because of the way it got changed, I think it doesn't really work anymore for Jhin. Really, what you're going to be working with is Fleet Footwork. Yeah, good old Fleet Footwork. It's basically the rune that everyone goes to when they have nothing else to pick. It gives you movement speed, it gives you sustain, it's nice. It's just nice. And it gives you access to the precision tree, which gives you a bunch of useful stuff like coup de grace, which is nice to execute more people with your 4th shot. Your secondary runes will most likely be like Nimbus Cloak and Celerity. I like bringing Celerity because movement speed, he gets a lot of movement speed. You can also go Gathering Storm if you want to be a bit stronger later in the game. So how do we play Jhin? What do we do in the lane? What is so unique and different about him that he has to like, you just have to flip your world upside down and play a completely new champion, just forget everything you've known about all the other champions in the game. Isn't traditional. Like I said, he doesn't do damage by sitting there and shooting like a million times. He doesn't attack very fast, and he doesn't do like the whole like, oh, I want to sit here and just shoot you a bunch. He is the definition of hit and run champion. He wants to get in, shoot a few times, and then leave, and then never come back, hopefully. Which is why he's my favorite champions. It's very like it aligns very well with his lore, like as a serial killer / assassin for hire. He just kind of like waits for the opportune moment, does his thing, and then runs away. So in the early game, you want to be trying to get to your first crit item. Storm Rager is a good option because it's cheaper, so you want to get to that crit item and just try to get more crits off. Stain fights are not your cup of tea, so if you're fighting like something like a Vayne or something like that, don't trade with them for very long because you will lose the trade, you will lose the fight so fast. You want to do bursty damage, you want to hit them with like, poke them with the 4th shot, hit him with the grenade or something like that. A useful little trick is, if the enemy laner is sitting right next to like the caster minions, you can try to like line up the dancing grenade onto them by hitting the first like one of the minions next to them, and it'll most likely hit the champion or the enemy champion next to them. You can also kind of do it like set up the back line. I try to do the thing where like I'll get the back line low enough so that the dancing grenade will kill a couple of them, so it does extra damage when it bounces onto whatever enemy laner you have. And really, you're just looking for short trades with the enemy laners. You want a support that will hopefully give you that opportunity. So like Morgana is a fantastic combination because her binding lasts super long time. Nami is a good one because it gives you more kiting ability with her little like orbs that she gives you. Also, it's nice to have another CC champion because it allows you to land your W more. Any support that allows you to land your W and immobilize them, and maybe slow them down and give you breathing room is good. So like Braum, Alistar, Nami, Leona's pretty good, Morgana, anyone with CC you love. Enchanters like Lulu, not really good. Yumi is pretty good, I think, because she can like always get, she slows them down with her Q, which allows you to use your W. Anyway, that's it for Jhin. That's all the stuff I really had to go over. He's one of my favorite champions. Like, he's in the top like 5 of favorite champions in the game, and there's only so many champions that have like uniqueness to them, which is fine. That's totally okay, but he's one of those champions that's kind of still special in my mind, and he doesn't have any hard counters. That's another thing. Like, he doesn't have like a super hard counter as far as like matchup between ADCs goes. So if you play him right, he's super good, and yeah, I really enjoy him. Hopefully you do as well. And that's it. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about Jhin in general. And yeah, subscribe if you want to see more of my stuff. I do stuff like this, like guides and gameplay videos and things like that. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!